Welcome back to Middle-earth Quest. We are about to begin Eleanor turn 3. She's down here in Morthon. Unfortunately, we have the Black Serpent blocking her way and Balfalas, and she really needs to get into Mordor here, go to Barad-dur and shut down Sauron's evil plot of torturing Gollum and trying to find out the location of the ring. And so the first thing that happens on a hero step, of course, is the rest step. And I'll kind of just glaze over that at the moment because the last quest she did, I think, got her recycling her cards into her life deck anyway. So she's going to skip that step, not going to happen. And next is the ambush step. Well, there's no monsters or minions in her space, so that is not going to happen. We're going to go over to her playmat area and take a look at her cards, and then she's going to begin to travel. So will she backtrack to avoid the Black Serpent, or will she forge her way forward into Mordor, tackling the Black Serpent? Let's go have a look at her cards and figure that out. Okay, so here we are at Eleanor's area. Of course, she wasn't going to rest. She only has one card here. She has two quests she's going on. She's trying to get to Minas Tirith as one of her quests, and she can gain a favor and receive training. And she's also trying to go into Barad-dur, and that is her advanced quest. And Sauron also has a plot there, torturing Gollum, which is going to advance the ring 2 spaces every story turn, or story step. Okay, she's got a pretty hefty life pool. Like I said, she has a lot of cards, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 cards in her hand. So let's gather up her cards and get her moving in Middle-earth. Maybe there will be conflict, maybe there will not. Let's gather up her cards and we will do that next. Okay, so here we have Eleanor and which way she's going to go. She has a lot of cards. And she is going to move by using the Tree of Gondor card. This will go into a rest pool, and she moves right down here into Belfalas with the Black Serpent. So what happens now is during the travel step, she's moved. Now it's combat or peril. Well, she's going to have a combat here because she has moved into a space with a minion. So we're going to be doing a combat. This is the first one of the game. Not an extremely combat-heavy game like War of the Ring, but it does happen. Now, she has a lot of cards with her. We're going to have to go look at the Black Serpent, get him set up for combat. We'll go back and look at Eleanor, set her up for combat, and get down to business. So we're going to do the Black Serpent first and get him set up for this battle. Okay, so I'm not sure just how well this is showing up, but these are the stats for the Black Serpent. He is going to be using a combat deck, which is this one, which has the 3 melee symbols on it. So 60% of the cards are melee, 40% are ranged. This deck was shuffled ahead of time. He has, I don't know if you can see that, a fortitude of 9. So he is going to pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards off of this deck, and that's going to be the cards he's going to play with for combat. He has a strength of 8, so he is going to be able to play cards that add up to 8 and no more than 8, or he will become exhausted. So that's him getting set for combat. He has his combat cards. We're not going to know what they are. Let's go over to Eleanor's space and see what she gets to do for combat. Alright, so how combat works for the heroes is they look at their agility number. Now her agility is just 1, but she has the option with agility, and it's cards drawn at the start of combat, or additional strength. So she has a lot of cards. I don't think she's going to need to draw a card, which is an option. She can draw a card and have her strength remain at 5, or she can have her strength go to 6 and not draw a card. So that's what she's going to do, which means at the bottom here you can see the numbers. This is how much strength it costs to play these particular cards. So she's going to have a strength of 6, and she's using her agility to pump her 5 strength to a 6. So this is her hand of cards for combat. So I'm going to get set up on the main board, and we're going to have the combat occurring right now between Eleanor and the Black Serpent. Alright, so I'm just going to do the combat kind of right here. We'll just, I guess, use the miniatures. We have the Black Serpent, and we have Eleanor, and they're going to fight it out. And they fight it out with cards. So these are the cards for the Black Serpent. I've kind of arranged them for Sauron in the order he's going to play them. Boom, that's the card that the Black Serpent is going to play. And now we need to pick a card for Eleanor. And of course, they're either ranged or melee cards. They have a damage number and a defense number. So I think she actually had a plan here, and that was, what was her plan? Her plan was to use retreat, which means if you do not take damage this round, you may end the battle, move to an adjacent location, and continue your turn. Doesn't do any damage, but it gives her 2 defense. So she's going to play that. Now, if you're playing, of course, a regular game, which would mean the Sauron player and the hero player would both play their cards simultaneously face down, so neither of them knows what's going on. And then they reveal. So, of course, we're playing the heroes. So we play retreat, and the Black Serpent plays hack. It says gain 1 attack if your opponent plays a melee card. Well, Eleanor did not play a melee card. She played a ranged card. And she has 2 defense, so the 1 attack of the hack is not going to do anything. So her retreat is going to take effect. It says if you do not take damage this round, which she didn't, you may end the battle, move to an adjacent location, and then continue your turn. It only cost her 2 strength. She has a strength of 6. So, kind of anticlimactic for people watching. I'm sure there's going to be more battles. So she actually retreats from the battle. So the Black Serpent was unable to stop her from moving, and that was kind of Eleanor's plan. It started off with a hack, didn't do any damage. Eleanor, of course, this goes into her rest pile, gets to retreat. So, very quick little skirmish. Eleanor gets away. She has a ton of cards left. Let's see what she's going to do with the remainder of her turn. Okay, so that quick little skirmish between the Black Serpent and Eleanor ends with Eleanor retreating, and she can move to an adjacent location. So she moves right up here to Minas Tirith. Awesome. And of course, when she's in Minas Tirith, she can now explore that location, and by doing that, she can complete this quest. Captain of the White Tower. No one stands stronger against the horrors of the East than Denethor's son. His presence steels men against the fear, and the sound of his horn is as the morning call of Numenor that was. And the reward for her exploring Minas Tirith is she is going to gain 1 favor, and because she completes a quest and it's her special ability, she's going to get 2 favor, and she's going to get training. So this is an excellent thing. And when you complete a quest in the game, it is returned to the box. It is removed from the game. This was one of the encounter cards. It doesn't get shuffled back in. It just gets put away. So that's excellent. Eleanor is going to receive right now 2 training because of her bonus. 2 favor because of her bonus. She now has, I think, 9 favor tokens, an absolute pile of them. And she gets training. So we're going to take the skill deck, and we're going to take off the top 2 cards. And this is good. One of these is going to go directly into her hand. So let's have a look. She has Flaming Arrow. Next round, reduce your opponent's printed defense to 0. 3 strength to do it, 3 attack, or she has Shield Smash. And it says, next round, if your opponent plays a card costing 2 or more strength, his card is cancelled. And it's a 3 defense, but it only costs 1 strength to play. I kind of like Flaming Arrow. Let's do some damage to either monsters or minions. So she's going to take the Flaming Arrow. That goes directly into her hand. She has trained for completing her quest. All right. Excellent. Okay, I'm just going to readjust a little bit, and she's going to continue her turn. All right, so Eleanor in Minas Tirith is going to continue moving now, and she's going to spend any 1 card. I know you can't really see it here. That's going to go into her rest pool to move down into Osgiliath with Boromir. Now, there's only 1 influence here, which is not greater than her influence or her wisdom of 3. But she's going to interact with Boromir. She has a ton of favor tokens, so she is going to gain 1 strength. So I guess she trains with Boromir and Osgiliath, and she's going to gain 1 strength. So let's go over to her character area, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so of course her attributes here are Fortitude 6, Strength 5, Agility 1, Wisdom 3. Well, she's just trained with Boromir, and she's now has a Strength of 6. So we take out one of the little training tokens, and we're going to use this one here, which says Strength 6. And we're going to overlay that onto her character card. So now she has Fortitude 6, Strength of 6, Agility 1. So she's a little bit stronger now for fighting. So she could add 1 agility to her 6 for fighting, and she can now spend 7 worth of cards instead of 6. Or she can draw a card and have 6 strength. So she's got a little bit of training. And to mention, each ability can only be upgraded twice. So she could get her strength to 7 and no more in the game. She can't go beyond that. So 2 for each one, basically going to level 8. Okay, back to the board. Eleanor is rocking this turn so far, and let's see if she can get any farther into Mordor. Okay, so we're actually covering a lot of new things in this episode, which is great. So she's going to spend a Plains card, symbol card, to move to Minas Morgul. Now, what happens here is there are more influence tokens. There are 4 here. More influence than she has wisdom. So this particular spot on the board is considered perilous. Well, how does peril work? Well, what happens is the Sauron player takes, this is our peril deck, he takes the top 3 cards from the peril deck. He's going to look at them again and see if any of them apply, and then pick one of them that applies. So we can take a look at these cards. Of course, Moria, she's not in Moria, she's in Minas Morgul, not going to apply. Ruins of Angmar, she's not there, she's in Minas Morgul, not going to apply. Any location. So this is the peril that she's going to face right now in Minas Morgul. So let's have a look at it. It is ill-met company. They had kindly welcomed me to their fire and meal. Alas, what I perceived to have been friendliness and fellow travelers soon was revealed to be cruel deceit, as their dark-eyed captain beckoned towards me, his tunic parted by the shoulder. Branded on his skin was the red eye. The meat in his mouth turned to ash. The meat in my mouth turned to ash. They laughed cruelly as I threw the grisly remains of whatever my meal had been into the fire. So the hero must choose to either lose 2 favor or have Sauron draw 2 corruption cards and choose one for the hero to receive, discarding the other. Well, pretty easy choice here. I think Eleanor is going to lose 2 favor. She has so many favor right now. She doesn't want to give Sauron any bonuses, so she's going to lose the 2 favor. Boy, she has a lot of perilous spaces to get through here. So let's continue moving her. Does she have a card with a mountain symbol on it? She does not. So she will have to spend 2 cards if she wants to get to the plains of Gorgoroth. And I think she will go ahead and do that. And she will just spend these 2 cards to be able to move there. All right, that goes into her rest pool. She still has 5 cards in her hand, though, so not too bad. And now she moves into the plains of Gorgoroth. Well, guess what? The plains of Gorgoroth also have 4 influence. She has to face another peril. So, top 3 cards of the peril deck. We take a look at them to see if any of them apply. Barad-dur, she's not there. Any location in Eriador and Enedwaith, she's in Mordor, that's not going to apply. Any location, well, that is going to apply. All right, and this is the Hounds of Sauron. As the shadows deepened into night, the howls grew near, dark shadows slid across the moonlit hill. Eyes red as blood darted between rock and branch. Soon the warg cries became a cacophony of evil, the sound of fear itself. The hero is dealt 6 damage. He may discard any number of hero cards from his hand, reducing the damage by 1 for each shield icon discarded. If he reduces the damage to 0, he gains 1 favor or training. Wow. So let's see if Eleanor can even do that. Does she have 6 shields? She has 1, 2, 3. She has 5. Well, she has no option. She cannot pick that option. She does not have enough shields to do it. So, okay. Well, she has just dealt 6 damage. But she may discard any number of hero cards from her hand, reducing the damage by 1 for each shield icon discarded. Well, she has a huge life pool. So let's just go over there, and she's going to eat up the 6 damage from the Hounds of Sauron. Okay, she took a beating from the Hounds of Sauron, but she's going to keep the cards in her hand because she wants to keep moving. So she's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards off the top of her life pool, put them into her damage pool, and that's the damage she takes from the Hounds of Sauron. She still has, though, 5 cards in her hand. Let's go back to the board. She's going to press on further into Mordor. Okay, Eleanor is facing all kinds of peril. She's evaded the Black Serpent. She's consulted with Boromir, and now she is moving from the plains of Gorgoroth to Mount Doom. How does she do that? She must spend 3 cards because she does not have a mountain symbol card. So she's going to spend these 3. They go into her rest pool. She moves to Mount Doom. And of course, Mount Doom has 4 influence. Guess what? She must face Peril once again. Top 3 cards of the Peril deck. And we are going to look at them and see if any apply. Any location in Brownlands or Mordor, well, that applies. Any location applies. Any location in Rohan or Gondor, well, that one doesn't apply. So Sauron has a choice of these 2. Let's have Sauron read it over, and we'll come right back and see which peril she faces at Mount Doom. Wow, this Sauron player is nasty. He picks 9 for mortal men doomed to die. And it says, they come out of the night like a foul wind upon black steeds and thundering hooves. Terror rode with them, and fear was their ally. Unliving servants of Sauron, shadows under his guard, under his great shadow. Pale swords of black metal were drawn with a hiss. The enemy was upon us. The hero receives 1 corruption card. And Sauron may then either command 1 minion or draw 1 plot card. If the minion is moved into the hero's location, he must immediately fight it. The hero's turn does not end. The hero fails to defeat the minion. So, Eleanor just gets 1 corruption. Boy, she's pressing on, and she becomes despondent. And this means when you rest or are defeated, the leftmost Sauron victory marker is advanced 2 spaces instead of 1. And it's going to take her 3 favor tokens when and if she can rest to remove that corruption. And now Sauron gets to draw a plot card. Well, his plot cards are up here. He's not going to be unhappy about that. He gets to draw a plot card and add that to his hand. And so that's it. So he could either have commanded a minion or draw a plot card. He drew a plot card. Okay, wow. Eleanor is just a trooper here. Okay, she still has cards in hand. She can continue to move. She has a plains symbol. The plains are going to take her to Barad-dur. She moves to Barad-dur. It is a perilous location, no matter how many influence tokens are on it. She spends her card into her rest pool. She has 1 card left. She has made it to Barad-dur, but it's a perilous space. Guess what? She must face Peril again. All right, we have a Peril card, which is Mount Gundabad. It does not apply. Any locations in the Grey Mountains or Ruadar does not apply. So she is going to be doing this one. Wow. Unbelievable. Way to go, Eleanor. Okay, Orc Scouts. He awoke. Head pounding, wounded. The constricting mesh of some loathsome sinew twisted into his flesh. An orc, small and cunning, knelt down before him, licking his serrated knife, its breath foul air of dying things. Are you ready to sing the songs of Mordor? The orc hissed. Then the long, sharp hours of pain followed. The hero gains 1 corruption card. Then shuffle this card and the discard pile into the Peril deck. Well, she gets another corruption card. I guess she was captured by some orc scouts. I will be shuffling all the cards back into the Peril deck. So Eleanor gets another corruption. She is now indifferent. It says when you draw encounter cards, draw 2 cards instead of 3 cards. Wow, Eleanor, what a trooper though. She's made it to Barad-dur. And now she can do an encounter. Well, she has made it to this here. Plot card of Sauron. It is a 0 cost, so she doesn't have to do any favor. She just needs to explore Barad-dur, which she does, and she gets to, I guess, rescue Gollum out of Barad-dur. This plot is discarded, not to be seen again. All right, Eleanor. Very, very good. That goes back up here. So she's completed that. And also, not only has she rescued Gollum, she completed her advanced quest. And this really applies on Hidden in the Ash Mountains. The filth and grime of Mordor covered Eleanor so completely she was almost indistinguishable from the black landscape. Few had ever ventured so deeply into the Black Land. Day by day, that black thorn of malice. The tower of the enemy grew nearer. So explore Barad-dur she did, so she gains 2 favor or 1 level of agility, then remove 1 influence from the shadow pool. Well, right here, we will just remove the 1 influence from the shadow pool. And let's go over, I believe she is going to take a level of agility. Wow, awesome. Let's go do that now. Okay, so Eleanor has completed her advanced quest. And of course, when she completes any quest, she gets a favor. So when she completes any quest, or I don't think I took a favor token from the Minas Tirith quest. So let me just take one for that as well, because she gets a favor token every time she completes a quest. If I did take one, I will remove it before next video. I don't think I did, but I may have. All right, so she completes her advanced quest, and she gets to improve her agility. She gains 1 level of agility. So I need to find an agility of 2 in here. So again, we get a little one of these tokens, and we're going to overlay her agility of 1. She now has an agility of 2. She has a strength now of 6, agility 2. Wow. She is really training up, but she is working very hard. What an awesome turn for Eleanor. She slipped through the fingers of the Black Serpent. She faced 4 perils to make her way to Barad-dur, rescuing Gollum. And of course, she took a couple corruptions along the way, and she's in a bad location. She has to get out of there, and she took quite a beating. Of course, she cannot rest in a evil stronghold, the Sauron stronghold, so she can't rest next turn because she's at Barad-dur. So we're going to see what happens. So anyway, good turn for Eleanor. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Join me next turn, and we'll see if Argolad has as much luck. All right, join me next time.